everyone, and to the live news update, or essentially this week's Noel Live. I'll upload the show. Jerrison, here right now, you're hearing where it's like the greatest ever of all time combined. I guess what we played at the beginning of the news updates because, of course, last month was the 10th anniversary of MB48. So yeah, it's been the MB, like, the third sister group of AK-48 before it celebrated their 10th anniversary just a few weeks ago, and, well, finally, like, happy anniversary, AK-48. A lot more about that later in the update. We, in the, there's, big thing, but if we didn't watch the, live stream they did a few weeks ago, what was the AK-48? Tradition of the AK-47, how, like, you probably didn't see me in the past month because somehow 2 months ago, how I surprisingly fell out of my bed and I was like for a few days, but then after that, covering somehow was something unexpected, but at least I'm doing it right now, and at least I'm now, at least. So, now, so it's all. See a bit, oh, quite a bit there, hold on, just gonna, that's it, yeah. Wait, so, right to, hold on, So it's now, 8:50 p.m. PST, or 11:58 EST, and about, hold on, about 1:59, JST, which means it's kind of lunchtime right now, in Japan right now, at least. So, okay. Hold on with that. Joke. So, So, no, we. Once I'm probably gonna. Well, I'm gonna know a lot of things like, oh, say two as well. Oh. Like in the, let's see what's the say two? Also, like, you know, in the next few, I'm going to talk about like what happened in the past month and a half, which apparently a lot of major things happened in the past month and a half that actually over with a little wall that you see on the back actually has been dated now since a lot of things happened, because as you know, the it has with Kick is at the 46. I mean, actually this is like the last episode of the news that they will be covering the 46, but I mean, probably cover that probably in the next episode. There should be, you know, in the wall, the Khaki 46 I just put into place, remove it, the picture of removal and the floor has been removed, and probably like replaced with this, place. The group, which now is rebranded as Sakurazaka 46, we'll talk about later, and probably changed in the news update, but so that the picture of Miro actually at the top right section of the wall was now moved to the bottom left section since, well, when the group actually left and she's getting closer probably to my ocean movement. Well, if Shion already leaves the group, then Miro will probably motion the group, and in the example where they said the picture of my Shiraishi is now replaced with a picture of, well, possibly the next phase of the group, Sakura Endo, since she left the group last week. Circular concert happened. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the news from the past month and a half, but all in all, as you probably know, rest of the gang, like Ruka, Michael and Steve kind of about some of those events, well, in the motions of the show, but so I might repeat some of these stories, but yes, well, a lot of things happened in the past month and a half. Well, it's God. So, no, the coronavirus pandemic is still happening. I mean, for me, I'm doing it right now. I mean, somehow in our area, the second wave is happening right now. That a lot of cases are happening in my area. That today there was like about 379 cases, which, well, actually the highest in our area now is actually 389. Since actually yesterday. It's like the second wave is more worse than the first wave. Then, well, for Michael, actually, there's a lockdown in his area right now. So, well, he's actually also an essential worker too. So well, good. And sure how Ruka and Steve are doing, but hopefully they're doing. Though there's actually a little surge of cases in the United States right now. In this case. In the case of Japan, somehow there's like not a lot of cases, but how the I mean like the but actually there's not a lot of cases. As in, let's say 2 months ago, there was somehow a surge, but then it kind of went down after that. Despite the surge of cases that happened in the country in the past few months. Well, various groups were kind of like starting to get back to well, like kind of like for instance, like various groups trying to open put more seats in the theaters. For instance, AKB48 actually is also trying to fill the theater at half capacity now, while as well as maybe probably the rest of the theater in case of, let's say, the SK48. Like B43 might be starting to put at half capacity. I think in SK48, well, they're starting to put people in there, at least. But that's when, like, say the but these are various problems that happened like in the past few those that happened in the past few months. Like for instance, Honey Hot, one of the units, but in the past few it's Honey Harmony did their their concert at the temple that they about actually 2 months ago, and they it was actually because they did the usual things they in the concert in the unit sort of festival, and then after actually at the end, and they kind of did a little after show where they talked about like the cafe that they actually did. Days after that, and probably with safety precautions in place, and actually did well. Great news. No, none of the members in the unit and actually the people that went to the cafe did coronavirus, so they're all good. And then also in the few months, the Tokyo Idol Festival happened, and I know because Michael and Steve talked about that in the first episode, but I mean most of it. I mean there was a lot of great concerts. I mean. I know some of the SCU48's concert was actually really it was great. I mean, like, well, I mean they did a few kind of one. They did one at the main stage, and then they did a concert in the SC48 Go, and it was gonna be like all the from like. Singles for songs from the recent single "Let's Have a Memorable Love," including the track and the song that had like Chiho and Fu did short-term plans, which actually like after it was actually probably like the best concert of the entire festival. This was all good, and then like after the performed Tokyo Idol Festival, I just talked to Misaki, which, like in Shoma, I told her, like, oh, you were great in Tokyo Idol Festival, and she thanked me for that after that. I mean, I talked to her also kind of a bit also in the past days too, as well. that happened too. It was like Casca Fan also performed, and during their concert, they might have performed their, I think, their first major, like as in like, single being under a major label, and then maybe it was an album next. I think some of the next few months, but so good. And then of course, a group I actually talked about in the show that Lyrical School performed. Well, their concert was over. They performed. Since they also performed well, the recent single from their let's say summer mixtape, Yabai Summer, which actually she was any for that song yet, but we'll but maybe we'll talk. And then also apparently HKT actually didn't perform in the fest because actually before they were performing, like, and while they after they did a few handshake events, Anna Morishige somehow got the coronavirus, but actually after she but then recovered a few weeks later, and it's gonna this a bit so then and then actually find this a bit, but so she recovered. Now she's doing really great right now. I'm just gonna find this thing quickly. So then when she came back, she put back to their which I'm gonna real quickly. Just gonna find this thing quickly. That should be here. Gonna find it. Yeah, well, before that, here's well where she talked about having the coronavirus. I'm gonna finish a few seconds. Just loading the tweet. So, just gonna load this thing quickly on. Yeah, so there's the she made about having the coronavirus, and oh no, actually, this is the tweet where she actually, she recovered from the coronavirus. I mean, she made a tweet earlier where this is where she recovered, and then when she came back, she actually got very. And then the rest of the group actually got very. We actually have footage of that. Actually, from stuff which we're gonna show very quickly. Just gotta get to that quickly. See is like the footage of Anna coming back to the group. Just loading. Okay. Alright, quickly. I take a minute, actually. Okay, here's the footage. There's a Rico P kind of. There's some. Okay. Oh. One. Oh, it's buffering. On the footage. There it is. Just a sec. Bit loud, just want to see. There she is coming. With the message. That's all just fun. And then she goes towards the members like this. There she's. So, there you go. That's the. It's now officially back in the group and social doing, and well, but also kind of really with Q40, but also well, their theater is now reopening to the public. It's actually open today. And actually they announced. So they announced like about last month in the Line Live, and find that. But the interesting thing about the thing is that now they're moving back into the area where the previous there was they're moving at the Ezo, which actually they did back today. And you should probably know. I know when I talked to Vivian and she told that she said it was the theater is, although actually in the it's actually so the theater is actually more small than their previous theater, and then they pretty much like remove a lot of space. Pictures from the performance that they did at this today, which actually interesting. Actually, it's I think they did with half capacity too, and also I think the cost of tickets to their theaters actually cost way more than, let's say, the rest of us. Well, their tickets currently cost like $48 Canadian, though. They kind of had a little like special price for the first performance back in the new theater, which apparently you can say about the cost of VIP premium package. At the Esfogo, we're actually so the well at the AKB40 theater, currently their show is about $34 Canadian. So I'm just gonna see here quickly. Oh, so there's the and then actually when they in the showroom, and so there's the in that I mean the Line Live, so the Line Live, and in the Line Live, so like Zumi and Madoka and Anna and Mina and Pianawa were there. So, but this theater is since it's actually the theater is now sponsored. It's sponsored by the Nishi Nippon City Bank. That's now called the Nishi Nippon Bank HK Theater. You know, kind of like with, let's say, with various arenas where they have like, where the name of the arena has like the name of a company. So it's like, so maybe in the, I mean, imagine, let's say, if a SoftBank sponsored AKB48, which then the AKB48 theater would be called the SoftBank AKB48 theater, which is interesting, but say that the HK48 theater is called the Nishi Nippon City Bank HKT48, which is like cool, but I mean, there's gonna be a lot of commercials for Nishi Nippon City Bank. Okay, let's. What next? Oh yeah, and then with what also with the I mean, but also in the this trying to get back to normal, but like the various groups are doing handshake event. Oh, with concerts too, actually. Sorry. Like for instance, of course. So 2 months ago, Perfume actually did their online festival, Perfume Pop Festival, where, but to most of it, they would do like various like segments, including like things on like where they kind of like one video where they kind of like show like the merchandise of the festival, and then also one where like the members and the kind of make like thing on Cookpad. But also like there's also another segment there where they actually like where, well, part of my ocean in the group 8chan was in a special festival episode of a show on Abima TV where they, with the actors doing the audition, and apparently, so what I mean, like, it was like former AKB before I remember Miki Nishino, who's also this like anime Shay on aka Shay on their YouTube channel actually was in the episode too. And then at the end of it they did the concert, which it's called like Future Uranium Museum, which like it kind of like shows like all of their weirdest like concerts all in one package, and they kind of go like through the history of the because the festival kind of celebrates their 50th anniversary of them, but also overall their 20th anniversary. And then it was a great concert. I mean, it's actually very quick, only like 45 minutes, and after that they actually had to go, I think, like to like the others of here to TBS to do CDTV Live, which they performed their recent hit single Time War, which the MV came out a few. It's a great. I mean, like where they like you see like the same shot, but then like when they rewind it, then you see like another thing happening. That's happened. And then you find out that they parents were actually watching it on a VHS tape. But it also sounds very 1980s too, and the song sounds like an 80s sound. It's kind of like very. The song is a time warp. But oh, and yeah, so that's a fun. You can probably find if you're finding videos. And then, of course, other countries too. SK40 did their 12th anniversary fest, but with no audience. And in that fest, they did all their theater. There was in one of them actually. Jerrison came back, and she looked like the song like Jerrina's back. I mean, it's a lot of concert. But we'll probably talk about that probably. So and then there was also like Cake is like, as we know, probably and it has now been rebranded as Sakurazaka 46. That if like as in originally they were going to do their last concert, which was happening at the Yokogi National Gymnasium with an audience, but some because of the surge of cases, they decided to do with no audience, which we'll get to talk about that concert later in just a few. But first, quickly on some news with Keikuzaka. Well, this is actually the last time we talk about Keikuzaka 46 news. The group is now referred as Sakurazaka 46. But before they did their last card, somehow Nikja Shimori actually left the group because somehow she was caught dating a waiter at a club. I mean, it's same, but well, she's that's here again, and then so Shiori Sato, she will not be in the new group, Sakura 46. So it's, although they said it's that she's graduating from the group, it's kind of more no, she will this new, but at least she was still in Keikuzaka type, and also yeah. So we'll get to more about the last concert probably just a few seconds. But so with AKB48 also performed at Asia Song Festival, which was a live stream on YouTube, but also aired in Japan on TBS. And in their like if you were watching the live stream, you'd have to like watch 2 hours of K-pop before you see perform. And when they performed, there was like Mion, the performance, and then also near her was Yui and Mizuki Yamuchi, which is they might be the next Asuka and Yuko of the group, or like the future faces of the group. But we'll talk about that. And then they performed the first Rabbit. But then, for those who were watching on TBS, we're also going to see another performance of them performing of What Is Your Melody? Kimi no Melody. And then, so 48's MB48 with their 10th anniversary with, and they did MB48 anniversary fest at Osaka Joe Hall, which we know the gang at MB Tiger 40 actually went to all the concerts, not just the concert, but also the the concert with the newer members, and actually she has a graduation concert called Goodbye Pink, Goodbye Idol, which will that in just a few minutes. But apparently in that festival they actually did it with an audience, they have capacity. But when I was watching the festival, it kind of like looked like it was almost full. But hopefully that none of the members or anyone in the audience and the guys that MV for Attack didn't get the coronavirus. Which, by the way, you can actually watch their reports on that on their channel, MV Tacky Party. And then she's graduation concert happened last week, called Always Beside You, which actually we thought maybe still have a Tokyo with no audience, but they actually just at Yokohama National Gymnasium, the same area where like they kicked off versus their last concert last 2 weeks ago, and then we'll get to that concert in just a few minutes. Now, while that also happening, also the various groups were doing a handshake events. It's like the AKB40 was also doing the individual handshakes, but they also kind of did, of course, the national ones where they would talk to fans virtually. Also, they would do like the little mini concerts. They would do like they're actually I think through. But and it's like they. Well, now although Jerrison has been able to go to the individual handshake events, but actually international events can actually go to the national handshake events, but actually I think you have to go to you have to get into the code from that's in the handshake ticket that's included in your copy of the limited edition version of the group's 2 recent singles, Sustainable and Thank You Heartbreak, and then although they might still have to check your identity, but if you're on their website, then they might check your identity, but you will have to but I mean, they probably will accept international fans for that, so if you have candidates for those, from those singles, use them to see those members. I mean, I could, but it's all good. But also with the, for the rest of the groups, I mean, so doing them virtually, but through different steps, well, for AKB, for SA4, they are also doing in-person handshake as usual with 60 audience in place, and so far, actually, they're all like so far no members got the coronavirus. That's all good. And for the it was including, let's say, the 46 groups and the Reno Sashihara was including Equal Love and Unequal Me. They'll be doing it through Fortune Music, which through Fortune Music Meets. It's like a little app it'd be like Fortune Music where you use to talk to the members, and like I know you have after the first 2 handshake events for let's say the group's previous hit single, Protect Color of Happiness. Well, Hiyazaka is doing handshakes for singles Sona Kota Yo, and so the Yoshimoto's I think for single Can't Be Impossible, and for Sakurazaka 46 is doing the their first handshake, virtual handshake event, and for their first hit, which we'll get to later, but as at the that's what's gonna be like. I think probably the thing with the is apparently the guy at this whole podcast actually talked. Kind of like in this week's episode of their show, where they thought somehow actually Boy got a. I think he's going to go see his Ocean with Risa. Well, Josh actually got a. Just for Michael's Ocean in Akane Moria. But the first thing about there's actually Michael actually somehow tried to get tickets to the event for this the group's first single, and surprisingly, he got a few tickets to the single. To the Henry event, so he's gonna go for acting here, so that means he's finally gonna talk to his children, though I actually haven't really talked to her actually, and I think Carl too, and a few months ago, and I mean he was also trying to get to see Hikaru, who's still the member in the group's first single, and possibly the next face of the group, maybe we'll get to later, but yeah, so by the time like he does which actually that event will happen on we'll talk to her on the 22nd, and if we'll probably summarize his conversation with Agnew, which it's kind of like our first like not all enough exclusive in a very long time. But with that, let's as we can. But other major things that happened in the past few months that have that this is actually a big one. Actually, a lot of international have been waiting for is that AKB48 and ST48's catalogs are now finally available on streaming for international fans, which means now you can finally all their songs and probably maybe learn about their. I mean, although I did. In the case of ST48, they have most of them, except for their recent hits, well, some Memorilla, which probably will be able to international fans soon. Before, of course, AKB48, you can actually get all their albums, well, all their singles. But initially, I'm going to get their recent charity single for coronavirus relief, Even When Apart, which is probably like, let's say, one of the songs of this year. And actually, Greenies can still get the song and raise money for coronavirus, which I'm gonna. Oh, I actually have to go to this thing first. Hold on. Just gotta find it a bit. Hold on. Just gotta find the thing. Yeah, you can see here. There's the just a few seconds. Okay. Yeah, so they get the group's Jerrison for coronavirus relief, Even When Apart, which is it's a really good. Actually, I mean, at least you can also reason for coronavirus relief. But now you can also get that, but you can also find the MVs of those. Sorry, on the so and this as well. As we get to. Oh, whoops. Gotta hurry a bit. What's this event? I'd say we'll watch the music of at least all of their main singles, but well, except for the song they released when they were under the Star Records, which is under Sony. So you can like, you can watch the MV of the recent single, Thank You Heartbreak, Sustainable, Teacher, also, and the music video of the Vivian clip, which when I watch that MV makes me feel bad about my. And hopefully she comes back from retirement, so that at least yeah. So yeah, you can go. Well, finally listen to AKB48's on streaming, so you can. I mean, well, I feel like it's different if you haven't heard them before. But I would. I mean, I'd probably recommend listen to their 10 of their best of album from 0 to 1, which has all the songs is up to Halloween night, and maybe you can listen to their 2 recent albums, Thumbnail and You Know That On That Day, and then you can listen to those, and then you can probably go on those to the group, but you can also those may find some of their additional songs, like their B-sides. Just got next. Then also what that happens is that there were various crossovers, like MB40 and ST40 did their a little crossover on the respective Nico Nico channels where they did like which they think did it on like on MMB's Nico Nico channel YNN and ST48's Nico Nico channel ST48 channel. It was probably fun but it's all good. And then kind of include to like games. So I know there's the AKB40 review of the AKB48 game, which is the Uno game, AKB48. No, the Bundes was sandwich. And it's actually, I mean, like if you know how to play Uno, it's actually easy to play, and then similar to the SC40 card game, which is so fun. And then entering throughout the main page of the game, and you see like in the group, the main menu would see a message from the Revolutionman, but also it's like in the ST40, the members would play too, and I mean, so far I didn't play with any members in the game yet, but I'll probably have it too. But there's also like things like where you can do like rock, paper, scissors with your Shaman, as well as try to do a bingo, and also try to, I guess, be ranked in a thing, which like is, but I should try the. They're kind of like references to the VKB48, like they kind of the rock paper, they kind of reference the Junkin tournament, and bingo, which they reference the song Bingo, and the ranking of Prince Lucky 7. And then there was also a thing where there's an auction we could try to get a rare card. Those are in the past. What do they have? The Unis on. It's actually the 1 year anniversary of Unis on, which we said was the best mobile game of last year. And it might be the best mobile game of this year. And time they actually various events to celebrate, but they also like they did the Real ranking and the and steps and the set list ranking too, but they also released like special like new of photos, including of Hinata and King of 46's singles, but they also start to release some like photos that have like movable wallpaper, and then it was somehow like I finally got an SR photo of Shuman in the game, which is my Shuman. Hinata 46 Kumi Sasaki, it's her and Happy Aura. Oh, good. Now maybe on the next episode, maybe I'll probably ask Michael and Steve how they're doing on the game. But also with games too. But Hinata 46 will be releasing a few games in the next few months. I'm just gonna, for instance, they're gonna be releasing there is like a little kind of like I think RPG game. So I'm gonna quickly here. Thing, and then there's like and there's that game which comes out soon, and it has a medieval thing, and then it's the commercial for it. Oh, and then when the game is released, you get these various bonuses. If people follow the Twitter of the game, then all the members you can play at launch. And then the other game that they also have in the room is, so I'm probably very excited to play. As you could say, Hinata 46 version of Noki Koi called Hina Koi. And it's similar to Nogi Koi, where it's like the group in a school, but this takes place in a school in Nagasaki. And kind of with Nogi Koi, someone actually finally got a 5-star part of my own group of Ren Namizaki. Her and Play Call of Resolution and then there's like game. But it's when saw the little commercial for the game, it's like, oh, this is gonna be a fun game. And then for that game, at launch you can actually the game, but then with both games that somehow Kumi has her now for the she has it for the RPG game for play that game, but for Hino I'm probably gonna play that game for sure. Of course Kumi I'll probably select Kumi in the game, but apparently Yuka Kageyama and the Kinshusas are actually not an option in both games, which although they will be available in the game maybe at a time. Oh. But I mean maybe he'll probably choose Naoka Sakura, I think. And there's second gens available at launch of the game. Oh, I mean, and Hinano's the third gen too. So yeah, games, and even besides that game, probably our favorite game of this year, as our year in review, which will happen at the end of the year, which we're going to say Uni's on there, but we'll. I'm just gonna go quickly to this news very quickly. Okay. So then, and then after then, of course, like Songs of Tokyo Festival is happening right now, which is the festival that shown on HK World where various musicians showcase of like J-pop and is in the country like J-pop, which apparently like which actually was to kind of for the summer Olympics in Tokyo this which now it was not delayed to next year, but I mean like maybe they were still gonna do it even though if it happened this year, but it's like but the only about the festival that it actually led to now it being a show which airs I think every few weeks on HK World. But this year's festival, I mean, a few groups are performing in this, like, for this year, like, in the first part, the Hinata 46 performed, and then last week, actually, a group that Rook likes, Bang Dream performed, as well as Idolmass performed, and then this week, Momo Clover Z performed, and then next week, Perfume is going to perform, and they're probably going to do Time Warp, I'm probably going to, there. And their news, watch the first 3 parts of it right now on Antiqual On Demand, Search World. I mean, or for example, HK World, www.hk.org.jp/HK World. And then also, but somehow in the past, some breaking news, but it appears that the AKB48 online shop is now no longer available to international fans in Bai. Well, that means appears that somehow I'm not look at all the pictures of anything with JK4 will be in the wall. It's rather updated, but probably the pictures being from the. Well, I mean, let's probably get photos. See, let's see, every 48 singles and at least in the 46 weeks, those things would probably did a bit next few years. But also as you probably know, many of the groups are now under different companies that now HKT4, which is under Mercury, and the group that shall be named, which is handled by Flora, available in the AKB shop, which means you have to go to their respective shops to get there. Then we had a few announcing that they leave the group and national members that left already. For instance, AKB48 and apparently teammates Miyu Inoue, no one current should actually but she rules the group, but I know they were the first members that were now new team members around like last year. And I got to the room on showroom, but apparently they were pushed they were very pushed and kind of lead. But I mean, they were great members, I liked them, but I don't think they'll do when they're not in teammate. But also, Suki Suinaga and Makiyu Tetsuya announced in their that they're leaving the group in showrooms, which Yusuka is she was. I mean, like she has like kind of like how I personally her she's like that's I mean she's a draft remember and like she and then when she was in the auditions of the AKB the 46 audition the first one where like she sang a kind of niche also and kind of her thing doing it but so where is it and then but they will have graduation concerts which good but and they're real great members so hope to do one group so actually I Tansji member in SK for actually not leaving the group ring Kokuchi which actually was the first person I talked to during the audition of the 10th gen she was a two I mean she kind of looked like I told her one to try to ensure I told her so that she can look like Mion but she also kind of looks like Karisuda since she actually for a lot she does well when she's and then apparently Suzu and before Suzu Yamada announced that she's leaving the group which and she's also the sister of Nana Yamada which actually and before it's the 10 anniversary was actually her and Nana actually they performed that song that's like no 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 and that was then and also that she kind of like her of Nana Nishina she kind of looks like her but and then also it's actually surprisingly after the group did their 10th in the theater same say and now that she's leaving the group but I mean like remember like so I mean like well she said she might be leaving near the end of the she might be next soon they might still possibly do a graduating concert a big graduation for her but we'll have to find out about that and then for Kenley okay sorry I think that's the amount of that they're but in case of let's say members coming back we equal as Tommy Same who was probably for at least like a year and a half actually came back and she's the leader of the group's nuts so we'll probably get to later and then we also a member in Supergirls actually came back so great news the members coming back is doing really well right now and then none of happened photo books that well in the past month and a half also various other photo books came out in the past for instance Kanakata which we also that too Kanakata which now left the group already and she photo books but actually did very well it was one in its first release I think now she's gonna be married after that but it's all good and also that laugh already including like one of Rina and which actually also by the way launched on the YouTube channel which is all good and she's that's why Miro's picture is now left of the wall and then and then let's see what happened to and then also Ayaka Mori also did her graduating con. Now she left the group, and also Haruka who announced she's moving in a showroom did her graduating concert, and they actually showed it on the group's YouTube channel, I believe. But yeah, it's also good. But in case of also like members, and also that Lion Suzuki will be releasing a photo book, actually next week, but that Actually, it has a title. It's called Angel of Light. Though on the cover it says Angel of Light, but it's called Angel of Light. Excuse me. And then actually the week, and then the week after that, Alba's gonna release another photo book, which. But the Carnation photo book, it is a risque photo book. Anne Suzuki's photo book is Angel of Light is actually risque, and then Oba's photo book is also going to be risque too, and also Rei Junichi, which is also going to be releasing a photo book on November 28th, which is that photo book will be risque for sure, and then surprisingly on December 2nd. SC48's Shiho Ashita will be releasing a photo book that apparently that the photos from the photo book that were so far are risque. We can't show these photos on the stream. But yeah, when some of the photos from this photo book, I said, this photo's gonna blow gonna blow your mind. Well, if, let's say, if Mizuki released the photo book, then I may have a similar reaction, but that could also, well, get ready for that Yumiko photo book, which is probably going to be risque, and then Hanoko's going to probably release a photo book after that. But there. And that's all with the multiverse news of what happened in the past few. So quickly, just to, what also happened in the month of the hell, early, with the units, apparently, Thin Lip is doing a few series of concerts too. But, as well as, but also, actually, AKB4 Unit Fest, which actually was actually continuing, and AKB4, actually, I thought was last month, but it's actually beginning this month, between November 20th and 29th, and they announced the names of the rest of the units that were in the festival, which will happen in the theater, and it's like the band that Mion's in is called Lasset, and then the gaming unit is called Gratz, and that unit that has boys from the group for Naketo, it's called Sensuality. There's a lot of legs in it too. Like kind of with the Thin Lip, but so. And those will also air on Connect, so you can probably when it happens. But also that early Yui Han was seen in the MV of by a band called Halloween Night, which in the film she plays like a person in a game and the band can turn to zombies. But also the making of her in the MV was actually put on her YouTube channel Yui Han Life. Also apparently Yuki Hashiwagi is involved in a campaign involving Domino's Pizza, which, although we're not sponsored by them, but they make great pizza, and so like a Halloween there, which earlier this year Domino's released actually was international pizza set, which one of the flavors involves them from my area, Canada. And also, teammates Arena Oda and Shimizu were under a new staff management called Central, which, if you go to the website of that management, you'll find out that most of that are really children. There and then, with SK48, the group's released their 27th single with Jurina Matsu will be released this spring, and her graduation cert will happen around that time, and hopefully maybe the pandemic will end that time, then big concert, and then apparently in case with more of the 9th gens is going to be on social media, and also the case also with Noe, some of the members are starting to use Instagram more, like Hanse's Instagram and Jana and Hina Higuchi, and even some of the Oshman and the Rena Yamazaki, who can find her on Instagram to her Instagram account, Rena _Yamazaki .official. But surprisingly, the account for her TV show Rena Yamazaki, and yes, might be also her Twitter account too, that she's this in her Twitter. But more quickly with Rena Yamazaki, but she's here right now because right now she's hosting a radio show which began last month on Tokyo FM called what should I say there, and she's it's surprising with that she's replacing Minami Takahashi's radio show, and this time appears another show involving the 840s replaced with a show of the 46 crews. But she's also hosting a show on TV Tokyo called Tokyo Good, which is on Monday, which is on about Tokyo and maybe kind of something like Tokyo Eye 2020, which is probably still have for this year on. She wrote it. It's on TV Tokyo. Show 2. Yeah, so she's doing well. I talked to her a few months. She's doing really well. Good. And I have to go to the rest of these quickly. Also with YouTube channels, but it appears that Jerrison Matsuri launched a YouTube channel actually yesterday. And actually on the she launched it, she did a live stream where, and before that she was actually, they launched the channel, she asked her to give her ideas for what the channel should be called. I suggested to her maybe to call it Matsuri channel, but she didn't make this, and in the end she decided that the channel is called Jerrina House. So we'll probably find out what she's going to do on the show, which great news that she, when she's still in the group, which is, yeah. And then, and before news, there was another unit involving the Takeda barbecue, which is the live stream that the group did on the group channel in the past few months, called Raison d'Entrée. And then the results of the was related to the show they did on which MBS was actually aired this month, which is there. I forgot that later. Well, and then of course there was a documentary on the 7th gens, which, but I'll probably tell me when I see it. And then, oh yeah, Halloween too. Well, you know, probably Halloween happened the past few days, and then talked to a few members in the showroom, members too. And then when I was talking to Yuka, I told her, I told her that I like Lasset, and then when that she said like Orashon's son, it's like the first time I mean Orashon's son instead of like Jerrison, so, which is actually, and then Steve 48. Oh, and I see 40 news, but apparently no, Arisa Manio. Well, we thought that Arisa Manayoshi was going to make an announcement. We thought that she's gonna leave the group, but instead, nope. She's gonna be the spokesperson for the Hiroshima Police Department, which is great. So good. And then to talk 46 news, as we now know that Mashiraishi and Kanakawa left the group, there are now 8 original members in the group left. So around that time when, say for AKB4, they would probably have 3 original members, I think, but later. But and then things really, but also kind of with physics. Apparently, they released more from Noise on Undertone Prisoners box sets, as well as the best of their in Guam and Hawaii, just about last week. The group was also involved in a action involving OWL, where somehow involving Alpay, where the kind of see other members and then like so that they didn't get that they kind of like try for a business like. Extra things since dogs. Probably when you see the commercials, but also with one of the shows that they're crowning right now, Noe's Saka Skit. Well, the first season of the show will be on DVD Blu-ray on December 8th. But the reason why I'm saying this is the complete first season because the show will be back this winter, which will also incorporate the 3rd gen into it, and then the seasons they'll probably add the rest of the generations and end up being airing weekly and probably be officially the show that. And K News, which we'll get to later, and Hinata. I shouldn't. I'll get to see this later. We'll just know they're doing for their concerts. And then has been injured, and then. Oh yeah, Not Equal Me will be this winter, but we'll get to more of theirs in episode. Last Idol was releasing there this week called How Many People Not Beautiful, which. It has a bit of EG sound, and the V is a samurai and Bamboo, but MV is a good. But also the making of that movie was released, which they might film the same way they filmed the movie of Jumansu's. I'd say happy birthday. Well, there's also here's that Delphi the of Wait, there. Oh, talk that later. Then I want to first release there 12, which we'll talk to later, and so Luna is there. You know, 12 a.m., which includes the single Why Not, which no Ruka did a reaction to the. And so, that's it. Then. And also to the which apparently is such. Oh, she played the album. She probably played it when you played that, but it's all good. Then, was it a multiple commercial? Released singles, and then one new launchers later, and then former. Yes, 46. My heart, middle? And then probably 40. Not back, but with downhill, which really, just second is really hosting it, but Rama's not in it. But they also have a. We're in the comments of already talk Mets there too, and a new Met later, and then this. So this love did a which they took about the sort of I don't know which are they supposed to be one of the in yeah. So but it's a contributor to it, Alex Dolzer, who it's not quite the one was from I probably saw, which is so probably good, and also actually did it recently. They did another the Wings Challenge, like members and a lot, and then also with the and also Josh on his channel they did a review of Samarassi's footbook. This is good. And then we go to the tour roundup. Yeah, there was also a crossover between Venom and Shredder's underwear. And in the end, one in Obi-Wan had to do a where she had to change her Twitter page and then change it to another bit of Chiori, which I liked her losing her followers. And then on her show where she's with her brother, was and then shows well, but no so on various shows like Virginia we're on Wednesday, well we're on a few shows including a Unicon and Chicken Note where Ray did some side and also things like the exercise on HK and also in Golden Bomber also does it. And then there was which I have not watched about later, and then the last course cake has now been rebranded as Sokomotive. There's something about the sit. And that's the news that happened about the half, but that's just what happened with the that happened, which will I think they will that maybe in will MVs and came out in the past Heather will probably that probably in the maybe in another news update probably maybe tomorrow. But those are tomorrow. So I might depend on time probably to be fair to say day tomorrow since the election in the United States tomorrow, and I'm not sure if Ruka and Steve voted, but I mean, in their cities, but apparently, but to everyone in the United States who's who's eligible to vote and watching this, you vote. I mean, it's affect the future of the country, but so the entire world will be watching. So well, oh, and on time I'll probably do like the maybe for students that I actually did like a few months ago in May, which somehow wasn't when I did it in Twitch. Which I know it wasn't archived, so we'll probably have to. And maybe more time, I might build do the sword that was going to do 2 months ago. I don't blame that. And also, we'll be probably doing things on the channel, but also one of the for the next week we'll probably do something related with episode 46, since the group's never been episode 46, and also, yeah, it's like a 46. The fun part will be put that video in the channel, and so that is the news that happened in the past month and a half. So again, depending where you live in, stay home and wash your hands. Wear a mask. Do the social distancing, and so hope all be safe and hope it's all good. And like yeah, no, hopefully Michael and Steve will be back to news that happened. Yeah, one plus one. So with that, see you later. Bye.